What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how we can submit a contact form using email.js on our website. So let's just go ahead and get started. You're going to want to pull up email.js.com and let's switch over to our app. So I have a starter app here. We're just going to make an index.html and we're also going to make a app.js. In here, we'll use the emit abbreviation to just give us some boilerplate. And then we do need to include this script tag that comes from the docs for email.js. I'll leave this in the description and in the comments, so you can go ahead and put that in there. Getting into the body of our HTML, we do need a form. No action is required, so I'll just delete that. And we do need a few inputs here, so we'll do input there, a text area, and we're going to have a button that says submit. Now this one is going to be type text, and we're going to be getting the first name. So let's call it first name, and then I'm also just going to give it a class of first name. Now this is going to be email, so we're going to switch the type to email, the name to email, and also a class of email. And lastly, on our text area, we're going to give it a name of message and a class of message. And that's about it for our HTML. So we can go live and we can see, let's just add a little placeholder here so we can see what's going on. And I'm just really quickly going to make this flex and make the flex direction column. So it's all stacked on top of each other. Awesome. Now in our app.js, we do need to start selecting our elements. So we're going to start with the form. And I'm just going to use a query selector for all of these. Oops. Come on. There we go. And we're going to need to select a few more things. One is going to be the name input, our email input, and our message input. And we gave these classes. So this is a class of first name, a class of email, and this is a class of message. So that's great. Now let's switch over to email.js to get started there. Go ahead and click sign up for free. I already have an account, so I'm just going to sign in. And once you're in, you do need to set up an email service. So I'm going to click add new service, and I'm going to be using Gmail for this. Once you get in here, it's going to give you a service ID. If you're using this in a real app, you might want to use an environment variable or some sort of like GitHub actions. That way you can hide this from others. But for this example, I'm just going to be placing it in a constant here. So we're going to call it service ID, and then as a string, save it right there. Awesome. And now we're going to need to connect our account, and I'm just going to click on my regular email here and hit continue. Awesome. So now this is connected. We're going to hit create service. And you can see this is the one I just created here, and we have that in our code. Now we need to go to our email templates. I already have a template made, so I'm just going to quickly put that into a variable. Just like that. And when you go into your template, this is what you want to do. You're going to go to edit and design. And we actually don't need this to name. But in these curly braces, we have a from name and we have a user email and a message. We're going to be using these variable names in our JavaScript. That way we can send it and use our template. So keep in mind we do need to use these, and I will show you where we're going to use those in just a minute. Go ahead and click apply changes. And then we do need this template ID here if you didn't already grab that. Now click on your name to go to your profile, and we need our public API key. So again, put that in a constant, There, awesome. Now we have all of our inputs selected, our form selected, and we have everything we need in variables for email.js. So now let's move into setting up the actual function that's going to be taking care of this. Before we start anything, we need to type in email.js.init and use our public key here. That's going to link everything together with the CDN that we imported earlier. And now we can get to our function. So we're going to be targeting the form and add an event listener. And we're going to be listening for the submit event. So when that button is clicked, it'll do the submit event. And what do we want it to do? Well, let's give it a arrow function. And we will need access to the event. So go ahead and type in your E. And right away, we're going to prevent the default behavior of submitting. And we can get into our code. Now we need to define an object, and I'm going to call this input data. You can call it whatever you want, but it's going to be an object. And this is where we need to use earlier when I said we have the from name message. So let me just pull that up for you. So basically, that should not be there. But we have this from name, and from name is the name input here. User email is our email input, and message is our message from our text area. So we need to link that by using that in this object. So we're going to say from underscore name is name input dot value. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Dot value. All right, and we're just going to duplicate that. So from name, we have user underscore email, and that is email input. And lastly, we have our message, and that's going to be message input dot value. So we have our input data object here. Now we need to use the email.js function that's provided. Again, this is all in their docs. So it's email.js.send. And it takes in a few things. First thing it takes in is your service ID, which we have in a variable, your template ID, again in our variable. And then lastly, it's going to take in this input data object that we just made, if I can type. Awesome. So that's going to take this in, and this is a asynchronous action happening, so we need to attach a dot then. And when this happens, let's just use another arrow function. And first of all, we're going to reset the values back to nothing. So we're going to clear everything back out. So when it submits, everything will go back to empty. And then we're just going to console.log success. Now, if there was an error, we can attach another function here. So we have the error, and we're just going to console.log the error. Let's see. Awesome, there we are. And that should be it. So if we go back into our file, give it a little refresh just in case, and let's open our console. We have our first name, and let's just use Billy here. And I think, yep, billybob@gmail.com. And we're going to send an email saying, this is a test from your boy, Billy. Now when we click submit, well, nothing happened. We should have gotten our console.log here, so let's take a look. Oh, I found the problem. We didn't link our app.js in the beginning, and we need to defer this. This is supposed to be class of email, and we can hit submit. And we got the success console log statement. Now if we go to our email, we can see new message. Hello, you got a new message from David, dave@gmail.com, and we have our message here. So now you can implement this form, you can style it, put it on your website, and whenever someone fills it out, basically how it works is it looks like you're sending yourself an email, but you have all the information of the person who was sending it before. So if this was an actual person, I could just reply using this email here. But that is pretty much it. Thanks for hanging out with me. Leave a like and subscribe, and have a good one.